Well, gather round, folks, it's a brand new day. Shady V is here to light the way. For storytelling and sharing, that's what we do. With every review and interview, too. Oh, the Shady V Experience. Come on in and stay. Good times and good tales will brighten your day.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Shady V Experience, where every story has a voice, every voice has a story, and every product gets a fair shake. I will sit down with fascinating guests for insightful interviews and give you my honest, in-depth reviews on the latest and greatest, or maybe not so great, restaurants, books, movies, and events. Whether you're here for a thrilling story, compelling conversation, or a trustworthy recommendation, you've come to the right place. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this journey together. Tonight, I want to continue with the ghosts of Austin, downtown before the high rises. Last time, I told you about the burger joints and the diners on the edge of town, the ones tucked into neighborhoods, half hidden, easy to drive past if you didn't know to look. This time, we're going downtown, to 6th Street, before it was a bachelorette party circus, to Hyde Park, before the bungalows became teardowns. Because the truth is, Austin didn't just lose its neighborhood diners, it lost its downtown ones too. The version that belonged to the people who worked there, not the people visiting. Let's go stand on the corner where a lot of it happened. 86 years on 6th Street. If you want to understand what downtown Austin used to feel like, you start with Hut's. Hut's Hamburgers began in 1939 as a place called Sammy's Drive-In down on South Congress. It bounced around, a name change here, a relocation there, until 1969 when it landed at 807 West 6th Street and just stayed. Mike and Kim Hutchinson took it over in 1981 and ran it for the next 38 years. Ask anyone who was there, and they'll tell you about the music. Stevie Ray Vaughan used to wander in and play. Chuck Berry showed up once, unannounced, and the whole place lost its mind. I remember Hut's onion rings the way some people remember their childhood home's front porch. Specific, warm, a little greasy in the best way. When Mike Hutchinson finally announced the closing in the summer of 2019, he didn't blame any one thing. It was parking. It was property taxes. It was the fact that, in his words, every neighborhood in Austin had its own bars and restaurants now, so nobody needed to fight downtown traffic for a burger anymore. The last Sunday, people flew in from out of state just to stand in an hour-long line. One man came all the way from California and still didn't get his burger. They ran out of food before he made it to the counter. 80 years, and it ended because a shake and fries just couldn't outrun a parking garage. There's a Hut's at the airport now, same name, same recipes, but it's not the same thing, and everyone who loved the original knows it. But I think Hutchinson knew that too. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for a memory is let the name live on somewhere smaller, instead of watching the original get swallowed by something bigger. What about the empire nobody remembers building? Here's a piece of Austin history that's almost gone entirely. Not because anyone's ashamed of it, but because empires like this one don't leave monuments. They leave scattered memories in strangers' mouths, decades later, in comment sections. In the 60s and 70s, a man named Ralph Moreland quietly built a small burger kingdom around the University of Texas campus, 2 locations of a place called 2J's. 6 holiday houses scattered around the city, including the beloved one in Terrytown I told you about in the last episode, a joint called Sandy's across from Palmer Auditorium, another called The Tower, next to what's now East Posse. He even reportedly ran a KFC on the side. Now, Sandy's is still there, Former employees remember him paying working students $200 a semester in what he called scholarships, money that at that time covered the bulk of somebody's tuition. A burger empire quietly putting kids through school, one double meat bonanza combo at a time. Almost none of it's standing anymore. The 2J's on North Lamar is a central market now. The Holiday House locations disappeared one by one through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. The last torch carried by the Terrytown spot until 2004. Nobody wrote a definitive history of Ralph Moreland's little empire. It just exists in scraps. A forum post here, someone's memory of a Mansky roll there. That's how most of the city's food history survives, honestly. Not in a museum, in somebody's half-remembered Tuesday. What about the vegetarian spot in Hyde Park? Let's shift neighborhoods for a second, north, into Hyde Park, a place called Mother's Cafe and Garden. Mother's opened in June of 1980, back when calling yourself a vegetarian restaurant in Texas was still something of a statement. It became a fixture. Mushroom stroganoff, a back patio full of string lights, and the kind of restaurant where the servers knew your order before you sat down. It made it 40 years, longer than most marriages, longer than most careers. Mother's closed in October of 2020, another name added to the long list of restaurants that simply couldn't survive the pandemic's math. But here's the mercy in that story. You can still find Mother's salad dressings on shelves at Wheatsville Co-op and Whole Foods around town. The restaurant is gone. The stroganoff recipe went with it. But somebody, somewhere, is still putting that dressing on a salad tonight and has no idea it's a piece of a place that isn't there anymore. What downtown remembers? Somebody once described Hut's closing as losing a piece of old Austin. And I think what people actually mean when they say that isn't really about the food. It's about proof. Proof that this city used to move at a different speed. Slow enough that a burger joint could stay in one place for 80 years. Slow enough that a guy could build a small empire of diners around a college campus and nobody thought it was strange. Every one of these places closed for a boring, practical reason. Rent, taxes, parking, a pandemic. None of them closed because Austin stopped loving them. They closed because loving a place has never once been enough to keep the lights on. So if there's still a Hut's-shaped hole in your Tuesday night, or a Mother's stroganoff you can still taste if you concentrate, that's not nostalgia being soft on you. That's just what happens when you grow up somewhere real. The buildings change hands, but the stories don't. Until next time, save me a seat at the counter. This has been The Ghosts of Austin, Episode 2. That's a wrap on another episode of the Shady V Experience. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, leave a review and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your support helps this community continue to grow. Keep the conversation going by following the Shady V Experience on social media, and don't be afraid to join in. We love hearing your thoughts, stories, and ideas. Until next time, keep it shady, but always keep it real.